too.
No, Gary said we're not allowed to, or Steve.
Well, midnight headlight, blindly on a rainy night. Steve Grade up ahead, slow me down and making no time. Gotta keep on rolling. Those are windshield wipers slapping out the tempo. Great perfect rhythm with the song on the radio. I gotta keep on rolling. I'm driving my life away. Looking for a better way for me.
Welcome in, TNC, on a Friday night. That means we drop all that trucker stuff and we start talking about the gig economy. All right, welcome in, everybody. TNCRadio.live. Before we get started, first, a word from the President of the
People have a problem. They've got your number, they knock on your door, wanting you, but your spouses can't go to the grocery store, the gas station, can't show up without, what, can you fix my such and such?
It was muffled, but it sounded better than him.
What do you mean it was muffled? It came out muffled?
It sounded distorted. Did it sound distorted to you, Tremaine?
It was a little bit blown out.
Okay, let's try this.
That's okay. That's what he said.
People have a problem. They've got your number, they knock on your door, not only you, but your spouses can't go to the grocery store, the gas station, can't show up without, can you fix my such and such?
Was that better?
It was about the same, but it's okay.
Really?
Fix the
I don't
such and
understand.
such. That's all good.
Yeah, well, yeah, one of the greatest quotes in the history of a sitting president ever. Can you fix my such and such?
Eloquent,
really. Yeah.
That is all.
Yes, that plays well on the radio too, there, Steve. So good little meme that Steve was sharing with us. Good afternoon. I won't say good morning because I'm used to doing our morning show. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're doing well on a Friday evening. I'm Tom Kelly, along with Steve from Rideshare Rodeo, and that's not Gary.
Yes,
dude.
I guess if you shaved,
I am Gary, dude.
Okay, so if you shaved Gary, this is what he looks like. That's good. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, actually, it's Tremaine Hayho from Hayho Studios. Hey, buddy, how are you?
Hello, gentlemen. Doing well. How are you guys?
We haven't talked to you for a while, man.
It has been a while. It's been a good time. I mean, I still keep up with Steve and stuff, but yeah, It's been a while since I've talked to you. Been on this show, so
yeah. Well,
be back.
Everybody's kind of used to watching you 24/7, and it's. Now, you're going to take the camera with you tonight if you go in to pee, or do we avoid that this time?
This time we'll avoid it, but normally, everything, all angles. No, just kidding. But we're not doing that anymore, so luckily, if I were to do that, I would probably legally go insane. It was a crazy experience, and but yeah, we did it.
He was trying it again.
Yeah, we're trying it. It just wasn't this, it just wasn't. Yeah, try a different approach, right?
I think a more strategic approach, man. That just burnt you out the last time.
Yeah, definitely.
And again, I stick by that. I think it took away from the concentration you needed to give to all. I mean, let's not forget, Tremaine has 4. He calls it 3. He has 4 projects going on this year. Because of Simp too, but he's got Simp and 3 other movies going this year.
Yeah, so it's a lot. Yeah, I thought I was gonna help me focus, but it was kind of taken away, So, but anyway, it's all good. I think it's the strategery approach, Steve, like you're saying. That's the way to do it.
Because there's certain things that you do on the lives that people really like to watch.
Yeah.
But then at those times when you're trying to work, it's too much.
Yeah.
For you, I mean, because no matter what, your brain's somewhat on what's going on over here.
Right. And I'm not a multitasker in any sense of the word. So it's like, but yeah. How's everything going on in Tom with you, Tom, in your world?
Well, they're telling me on the line here that I'm coming in too loud. Am I still loud and muffled?
I fixed it.
Okay.
For some reason, you were like it auto defaults the mic volume to. Oh, you even brought it down more, but it was like at 200 out of 200.
Okay.
Like Tremaine and I are at 100 out of 100, so I just brought it down to 100.
It must be reading my settings about the way
but
that.
I think that was the problem before too. I think I just fixed it, so it should be good.
Right.
No.
Yeah, something about the way StreamYard and my soundboard don't work together well or something.
Yeah. So yeah, Sean from Tennessee says you sound great now.
All right. Good. So yeah, good. Everything's good. Been a crazy busy week, which is better than being bored. Yeah. And a lot going on with these storm. Whenever there's a big storm system like cut across the U.S. this week, that ends up turning into a lot of work for us. Also turns into a lot of listeners for us too, because everybody's trying to keep up with what's going on. Where are the storms now? Where should they be going? And for a lot of what we do, we even have apps that I'm going to go from New York City to Los Angeles. Driving a truck. I want to know which route gives me the best weather over the course of the next 72 hours, because we're going to try to do this trip, with 2 drivers as fast as possible. And so, we're helping people with that kind of stuff. And so there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes on when there's bad weather going on.
Yeah.
All right. So so they need to know, obviously it's super important that they know the weather, right?
Yep. And then the government has just been all over trucking stuff this week, and we got a slew of things that are going on that way, and that's some of it positive and some of it real negative, and some of it, most all of it, real frustrating.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Hey man, they're making all their last pitch attempts. You can tell these are just. Sadly, there's a lot of people backing them, but these are just Hail Marys that seem to be going in certain places too. I'm like, what is going on here? Why are you people getting on board with this junk?
Well, and some of it, has been real good. When they make a change, like the labor relations rule changes and the EPA rule changes and those kinds of things, before they can go into effect, they have to pass certain Senate committee and Senate votes and those kinds of things. And some of those now have been caught up by a group of senators, mostly Republicans, but some Democrats too, who are like, we can't actually implement this stuff and still have trucking in America. So we're going to have to, stall some of it. So, but they can't change the wording. So all they can do is put in measures that stall out the legislation from taking, or the new rules from taking effect.
Yeah. I mean, basically there's a lot more to it, Tremaine, but maybe to bring you up to speed a little bit on the trucking end, because I know you watch a lot of the gig stuff that we do, but on the trucking side, just, just stupid things like the administration, and it's nothing, and then I'm not picking on any one individual or group, but, no, but seriously, but the way that they're pushing that we'll have electric trucks, that we'll have things that we don't have infrastructure for, that cost so much money, it's not even feasible. I mean, Tom has brought up a lot of parking them, like all these issues, how many charging stations you'd need along the way, how much it takes to charge them, like what they're saying and where we'll be by what year it's so off. It's so irresponsible to even put a year on it.
Right.
How I see it.
It's
those kind of things where it's like, there is no trajectory here. We're not even close to it. So stop telling people 2025.
Well, this week, the Biden administration announced that they have agreed to put in 150,000, I think it is, chargers across the U.S. Between now and 2030.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. All right. Wow.
I mean, Tremaine, your state is a mess, man. I mean, seriously, the levels that Newsom set for like when you'll be where just aren't doable at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's saying that basically he's saying everybody needs an EV charger and an electric vehicle and an EV charger at their house, but yet he was the same guy who had to go on the news and say that you guys couldn't run your air conditioners,
Right.
but you're going
Right.
to plug more into the grid. I mean,
Right.
let's be real here, people.
It's like 115 degrees. Don't run your AC. Don't do it. You know.
Right,
Sorry,
but we got
Bruce.
enough for an electric power system at every house.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Don't even get me. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. But
Well,
So
that-
yes, like that's
yeah,
part of it.
the California grid would have to increase by nearly 2/3 to meet the standards that they have set up right now. And I'm talking like get to 2/3 in the next couple of years.
wow.
You can't even handle the grid that you have right now. How are you going to increase by 66% the amount of electricity produced in the state of California? And that's just to run the cars. I'm not talking about any other growth whatsoever. If everybody, nobody moves in, nobody builds any new buildings, anything else, you just add in the cars and trucks and so forth, you're going to need to increase the overall grid in California by 66%. Let's say I'm wrong by half. Okay. Let's say I'm wrong by 90% of what I just said, that you're going to have to increase the grid by 10%. How are you going to do that?
No,
Pray.
I don't know. Yeah. Hope and pray. Hope and pray.
Solar power? You're going to build a solar? Well, we don't have one of those yet. How about wind power? How much would that cost?
Yeah, wind power isn't exactly feasible yet.
Okay, so that leaves two options here. How about nuclear? You guys ready to go with another nuclear plant out there?
Yeah.
You would need 3.
Yeah.
Have you started working on them? How long do those take to build? How much do those cost?
Yeah. Are they safe? I mean, are the new ones you're building being safe? Are they? I mean,
So now it sounds like you're back to a fossil fuel plant.
Yep.
And
we just wasted a ton of money just
and
pretending like we'd do it.
so you just put together. So if you're going to do this, you're going to need to build between 5 and 10 new fossil fuel plants almost immediately. How much pollution are you going to put in the air putting up those plants, and then how much pollution are they going to put in the air? Also, you could save, just a little bit. But, one of the things that, and I don't like the guy. His name's, let me rephrase that. I don't like what his group does, the ATA, but the guy's name is Chris Spear, and he testified before Congress, and he and I agree on very little. But one of the things he pointed out was, excuse me, going to sneeze. One of the things he pointed out was that if let's see, for California, I lost my train of thought there. You take it, Steve. What did he point out?
I don't know. I was looking at 3 other things.
Basically, he pointed out California sucks.
I love California. I live born and raised California. I'm in NorCal. I'm in, right by where they make all these laws. Sacramento, about 10 minutes from the Capitol, Capitol Hill here. So
I have lots of good friends in California. I feel for you guys.
Yeah, but we always brag about being like the spearheader when it comes to everything, right? Or they say it or they claim it, but it's not really the case. I think what would be more feasible is if instead of saying like, oh, we're gonna have 66% electric by tomorrow, it's like, why don't you just give like 2% a year for 10 years or something like that? Something that you could actually feasibly do.
Or why don't you build the infrastructure first? Because how can nobody with a brain can actually believe it will be, if you don't have the infrastructure, you can't have the vehicles.
Right.
Can't.
And the point that Spear was making, it's back in my head now, was that one truck, let me rephrase this, 60 trucks right now, today's trucks, equal in pollution what one truck did in 1985.
Wow. Dang. So it's already a lot better.
And that's what he's trying to say is, rather than rebuild the entire infrastructure, why don't we keep working on what we're doing and get better and better and better at capturing the emissions before they go out there? Yeah, I mean, so if the carbon footprint's the issue, let's continue to reduce the footprint there rather than do a whole bunch of stuff that at the end of the day, it doesn't look like it's going to save us any real carbon emissions once you net everything out.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what else we got cooking out here. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and take the first radio break, and we are simulcasting tonight on YouTube on Rideshare Rodeo. So if you're out listening to us tonight, that's great. If you're home, you want to watch us, that's great too. You can catch us over on YouTube, Rideshare Rodeo. That's all one word. Just look for Rideshare Rodeo. You'll find it, and you'll find our smiling faces that are out
and
there.
if you guys if you guys are on the YouTube side, if you don't mind opening a tab, putting TNCRadio.live, hitting stream, killing the volume, and then just come back over here.
Yeah, that's good too. Appreciate that.
Help, so,
Yeah,
I'm going to reset my brain and pretend like we're restarting after we come back from this commercial.
Okay.
There you go. There you go.
All
It came in hot, dude.
All right. Yeah, we were a little bit late getting in, and so we kind of tripped into it. So we'll do all that and be back here in just a couple of minutes. You're listening to TNCRadio.live. Stay tuned.
Hey, Houston professional drivers. TNCRadio.live keeps you on track to make more money with detailed traffic, emergency, weather, and driver information and entertainment. We're Houston's only driver navigation station. Get our app on TNCRadio.live, Google Play, or Alexa.
Are you tired of being limited by the algorithms of the courier apps? Do you want to take control of your earning potential as an independent contractor? Hi, my name is Hannibal, and I run the Hannibal is Hungry YouTube channel. Tune into the Beyond the Algorithm live stream with my co-host Steve Rideshare Rodeo. In each episode, we share valuable insights and tips on how to achieve income beyond the courier apps and become a true independent contractor. Join us for practical advice and inspiring stories that help you know your worth and maximize your earning potential. Don't miss the Beyond the Algorithm live stream on the Hannibal is Hungry YouTube channel.
That was some old stuff there, man.
I don't know what happened. I was hearing an echo, so I stopped it.
Echo.
It wasn't on that, though. I don't know what it was on. I thought maybe I had a tab open or something.
No, I didn't hear an echo.
Oh, you didn't? This TNC one is old? I know. I had to dig it up.
Yeah, that's really old.
It's actually like the second video on the channel.
Yeah, we did that one.
It still applies.
2 years ago. Yeah. That's the original model. When we were looking at doing this, basically for, well, we're coming back here. Let me bring us back in. 10 seconds. Three, two, one. Welcome back into TNCRadio.live Friday night. That means it's time for Driver Nation. I'm Tom, he's Steve, and he's Tremaine. Hi,
I'm
guys.
Tremaine. Hello.
Great to have
What's
you
up?
here. So we were talking there on the break real quick, Steve.
Oh, you want me to? Okay. Let's see. What can we jump in? I have done a lot. I have done a lot of things this week, and I've been getting ready for next Wednesday too with Kim and Karen.
Mm-hmm.
And but I've done a para one-on-one with Rideshare Professor. I did the roundtable last night with Sergio. Quite a few, I did a curry piece that was live with a couple of guests. So I have had a full plate. So I'm just kind of fried out.
Friday
for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, and then on top of which, I'm trying to get ready for this next Wednesday thing, you know. So I feel like I've been knocking all these things off, but I still feel like I just got things keep coming up.
So what do you have to do to get ready?
Try and be as smart as them on that topic.
Mm.
You know, I mean, at least be able to. I mean, I always figure it out, but be able to facilitate a good conversation. And if they go this way, I need to be able to go that way with them. Obviously, I won't know the extent of what they know.
Well, the thing that would help me personally, and I think a lot of us, to be more engaged is who do we need to be reaching out to with which message? I mean, there are some congressmen, some politicians, state representatives, and so forth. It's not worth talking to. They're the sponsor of the bill. They're not going to. But there are others that, you know, they're worth reaching out and letting them know, hey, you know, we don't support this particular, or we do support this particular thing. So, you know, name, you know, the more they can do to name names and name what the message is, the better we can call on people like the people who are listening in right now and say, hey, really give Steve a call and tell him we ain't taking this no more, and we fully support his position, or whatever the message is. The more they can give us on the information, because a lot of times people are saying, well, yeah, I'm willing to call, but what do you want me to say?
Yeah. I mean, I think that the drivers' rights movement, it's the piece that we do with Para. And so it's drivers plural. Drivers' rights. It's been a minute since I've been there. driversrights.org. They actually will we auto write a letter to your congressman in right there. Or you can personalize it more, but if you're kind of like really, like you said, struggling, it does it for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go to that webpage that's sponsored by Para. We have over, I don't even know, I think it's over 60,000 now signatures, which is huge. I mean, that's basically because of the Para user base that's active. We've been able to pull that many people, but yeah, those are not troll accounts. Those are real people willing to voice themselves. And again, that's just for one thing. That's just to, and that's not unionization or anything. That's just hey, you need to show us transparency with all gig work.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Like, you can charge whatever you want, and I always say this: go ahead, charge whatever you want, or offer whatever you want to the drivers, but you have to show them all the details. Because it is, I mean, I feel like we're heading in a bad direction where people are gonna, where these, you know, I don't think that we want to cross the line of letting companies decide what they're going to pay. You know, like regulations on a gig worker is one thing, and that's bad enough. But regulations on a company, as much as, trust me, guys, I'm right there with you. They need to pay people better. However, if they're being transparent, they can pay whatever they want. If they're being honest and they're showing, here's what you're going to earn. Well, how much are you earning? That doesn't matter. Here's what we're offering to you. That's transparent. That's a contractor job right there. I mean, that's really all they have to do. And like, I was just reading an article today from Portland, Maine, that they're going to do what San Francisco did and put caps on the delivery platforms at 15%. So that the delivery platforms can only charge 15%. Again, that's interfering with their business without having regulation. They're just kind of making statements in cities. But what ended up happening in San Francisco will happen in Portland. I mean, within a day. All they do, guys, is they keep the delivery fee at whatever that new standard is, and then they just add to the cost of the items on the menu. Because if you don't remember the conversation we've had, Instacart, DoorDash, all these companies, they charge 10 to 30% more per item on everything you order. So they're just, and they make the stores put that in the contract. So it's the store saying, hey, yes, these are our prices through Instacart. Like, they make the wording be from the store.
Oh, wow. So Instacart is getting that money. So if like a taco is $2 more on Instacart.
So an Instacart example that we used last night, an Instacart shopper said that she knew that that prices were 10 to she didn't know the percentage, but she knew they were upcharged. It's 10 to 30% per item with Instacart. And then there's the delivery fee, the processing fee, the this fee, the that fee, the blah blah blah. So really there's all the fees after, but then they're upcharging the items. She said she's known this, she's used Instacart, but she finally hit her mark because she asked the Instacart shopper to please give her the receipt. Instacart shopper did not give her the receipt, so she gave them a tip on top of the tip. Said, here's $10. Can you please give me the receipt? And they said, just don't please report it. And they gave it to her. You're not supposed to give the receipt because it shows how overcharged they are.
Wow.
And she knew something was off, but here's how off it was. She got a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store, $11.99, right? And that, if she had done it like through a dumpling or something too, there was digital coupons and all this involved. It should have been $8.99 had she gone herself, but it was $11.99 just the store price. The Instacart price on that rotisserie chicken was $19.95.
Wow. Dang.
It's almost 200% the price.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
And then the delivery fee, the service fee, the processing fee.
Right. The fee.
I mean, if at that kind of, I mean, look at guys, there's a, and I know I'm going to say this wrong, but this is today. Grocery store chain is ditching Instacart. There's a Ohio, Illinois based grocery store called Heine's, I think it is. And they're actually, I mean, they call them not big, but they've got like over 40 stores. As of February 22nd, next Wednesday, Instacart is not allowed in any of their stores. Wow. Ralph's in California in March will no longer let Instacart shoppers in. Kroger nationwide is looking at kicking Instacart out.
Well, how can they do that though?
Because they're now offering it through the stores.
Yeah, but
dude, they end the contract. If they find an Instacart shopper in there, they're in trouble because they're upcharging the items because they work on a contract right now. Do you see what I'm saying? Like they have a contract saying, yeah, we understand you're doing sketchy stuff. But here's the problem. Through the pandemic, we knew that they needed them because the grocery stores couldn't keep staff. I don't know about, I can pretty much guess even where you guys are. You didn't have full staffed grocery. Like take it back to 2020, 2021. It wasn't like that. Now they're getting back to full staff and they're saying, like Kroger here is advertising $7.99 delivered to you that day. And that's it. And you pay, and their big plug is you pay only in-store prices. Real prices from the store. I mean, they're slamming Instacart. And so they still are working with Instacart, but the Denver Post ran an article that they're shooting for July for King Soopers, which is owned by Kroger. It's actually the biggest food. It's actually bigger than Safeway here. So it's our biggest shopping center. They're aiming for summer to end their relationship with Instacart. Kroger's looking by the end of the year to end it completely.
Wow.
Nationwide with all their stores. Ralph's in California done next month. This Heine's, which is in Illinois and Ohio, done next week.
Do you think Instacart's going to be like, wait a second, don't leave, we'll change back, we'll go back, you think they'll do anything?
To what though?
Well, like to regular prices or and not overcharging.
Instacart, I guess you might have missed this. So Instacart in March of 2021 was valued at $48 billion and slowly go to November of 2022, just months back, and it was valued at $10 billion. So it lost $38 billion while it's waiting to IPO. Most people estimate that it's around $5 billion is its actual value. If they're going to lose their stores, they're losing the Kroger contract. That's one of the ones they stamp on their website that they're proud of. I mean, they're just, people don't, here's the thing. Why would they? Why would Kroger want their customers pissed off saying like, dude, I'm paying twice as much for these groceries?
Right.
When they can have somebody, now they're going to have a salaried employee do deliveries and do work when they're between deliveries. So it's going to be, I mean, they're just going to be delivered for $7.99. You're going to pay what you pay in the store. I don't know if it works that way for you guys, but right now I can pay $0 and go pick up my groceries from the store.
Yeah, they have that at Safeway. That's great.
Yeah. So, I
Yeah.
mean, and soon watch Safeway will follow Kroger.
Yeah.
Like they'll start offering $7.99 because dude, you can't not follow Kroger. Here's the problem, because once Kroger does that, everybody would start shopping at Kroger and going, man, it's way less to just order there. So these other companies are going to, I'm sure they're already thinking it, but they're going to have to do it.
Yeah.
And my guess is they've kind of had it since the pandemic. I mean, the article that I pulled up here, it's the takeout that I posted today, actually mentions how this Heine's restaurant or this Heine's groceries actually realizes how bad Instacart's been to its customers, but also to the shoppers, which was a strong statement.
Is it okay that every time you say Heine's, some part of me goes,
Yeah.
Just to make sure, that, I'm pretty immature about such things.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. It's, it's something we've been talking about for a while. They really don't have it's like Lyft. People laugh and laugh and laugh. They won't go under. Really? Because, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you guys. Like I've been watching Instacart for a while. This thing's been tanking and tanking and tanking. And I know Ryan's in here, and I'm happy Ryan makes money on Instacart. I am. I'm always happy when somebody makes money on a platform. And in his market, it's good. In most markets, it's not. Even the Long Island Dash experience, Lou and Mary used to tell me that their market was great with Instacart. Now they're sending me orders like I get, and they're like, we don't get any. Or everything's, at best, it's okay, mediocre. So I don't know. I think that the problem is DoorDash, other people are stepping into look at the Super Bowl. DoorDash showed that they're going to step in. They didn't even talk about food delivery. They talked about grocery delivery.
What do you mean?
DoorDash was running ads for grocery delivery, not food.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, I guess you're right.
Look at DoorDash. We did the stats last night. DoorDash did their earnings call yesterday. DoorDash now, I had no idea that it got this high. DoorDash now has 3 million Dashers in the U.S.
Wow.
I mean, that's I don't know what you guys think. That's why they're the worst paying app with hidden unicorn type stuff. Because look at if you can oversaturate a market 500 times over, you're going to see how low of offers people will take. If you have 1,000 times too many people out there, you're going to start playing with the numbers. Like, how low will they take it?
How low will they go?
I don't know.
What's the answer to that? How low will they take it?
People keep taking them. I mean, the bottom line is these DoorDash offers are some of the worst things I've ever seen, and people are still taking them. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I mean, the true good DoorDashers, they're pissed. We're in a recession. The apps are being overloaded. It will come around. I was talking about what I thought might happen and what I think needs to happen. And I think one of the biggest things that could happen this year, I think Lyft will fold. I think Instacart might make it to next year, but not much past. I mean, we can't even say if Uber will be around, but the gig economy is not going anywhere. My thing is don't let Lyft go under. Don't let Uber have the monopolization. People, this is the year to start gig apps locally. Fight these guys. I mean, yes, you can't start a nationwide rideshare and compete with Lyft from day one, but you might be in a certain region, Cincinnati, Ohio. You might have an idea for a rideshare company. A cab company might be going out of business. This is how a lot of rideshare companies start, is the implementation of old cab data. Take that cab data, try and start something, try and see if you can get it going in that market. Because people are going to have to start competing with these giants, because people are getting turned on to they're being ripped off left and right.
All right, we're going to take another break on the radio side. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. You're listening to TNCRadio.live. Stay right there.
Are you a DoorDash delivery driver? Would you like to be safer and less stressed while driving and earn more at the same time? The Driver's Utility Helper app allows you to do just that. Create custom filters and its automated system does the work for you, automatically declining unwanted low-paying requests and accepting more profitable requests so you can focus on driving. Visit acceptordecline.com to get started today.
ParaWorks is a new way for drivers to find high-paying job opportunities. You can claim these job offers to stack with your platform work and make your workday much more efficient and profitable. By uploading your gig work history and creating a ParaWorks profile, you'll unlock access to better, higher-paying driving gigs in your area. When a Para partner tells us they need drivers, we make sure you're the right person for the job, then notify you immediately. If you like it, it's yours. Your work history is your resume. Make it work for you.
Those are good, Steve.
I know I'm trying to get more of them.
Yeah.
Like if you have a new one, Tom, get it to me.
Okay. Okay, let's see. We've got
Tremaine, if you got one.
Yes, I gotta get you one. Just about to say.
hello, Josh. Hello, Steelan, Tennessee. Let's see, Jonathan, Traditional IC, Random Ryan, Driven Dad. We got a whole group out there. Thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. It is Freaky Friday.
Absolutely.
TNC Radio Live with Steve and Tom.
Tremaine, what do you got? What do you got going before? Because I got some other stories here, but we should talk about some of what you got going on. You should tell everybody like what's going on this year.
Sure, we could talk about it. Yeah,
let's talk about it when we come back.
Yeah,
with that, and also kind of a thought question out there for tonight too, Steve. Yeah, we just got something posted. I've been expecting all day. I don't know why it took them so long, but it just got posted out there from the Department of Homeland Security talking about cyber attacks. So we're going to talk about that for a minute too.
Mm-hmm. Caesar, little boy, Kevin, starring in The Cat Town Story. I actually remember all those cats from the movie.
They're the stars.
Oh, and you guys, this isn't to like bring out negative. It's just to my hometown. Just want to represent.
What happened?
Oh, there was a mass school shooting.
Oh gosh,
at Michigan State this week.
Jeez.
Yeah,
that's sad.
2 dead, 3 might be 3 dead now. 2 wounded.
Golly.
Ryan, that's for you. Dead air.
I don't know if I should be talking or not.
So the new thing is I'm trying to like time out these commercials to the radio side so that because sometimes we start talking on this side and then the radio comes back and we're in a conversation and they missed it.
Oh, I see.
And
Yeah.
they're like, what are you talking about?
Right. I guess the break is a good time to address the audience.
That's why I started thinking I'll just run these ads.
That makes sense.
I mean, I don't have another show all week I can do that on, so I can do it here.
Heck yeah.
And it kind of, I'm telling everybody like a 30-second ad, I'll run it. Just get it to me.
Okay, you got it. Just give it to me. Give it to me now.
All right, 30 seconds out.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry guys, it's been a long week. I'm trying to get my groove going.
How Steve gets his groove back.
I've done more live streaming and work this week than I can remember this year so far.
Yeah, you're crushing it, dude. You're doing well.
And they were all really good streams too.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back in TNCRadio.live. Live with you here on Friday night. Also simulcasting on YouTube with the Rideshare channel. I'm Tom. He's Tremaine. That's Steve. We're going to be here with you for the next hour plus, talking all things in the gig economy. A lot going on. A lot of people may not be familiar with Tremaine Hayhoe. He is, of course, the let's see. How does QT put it? You chopped, shop, directed, whatever, everything that went with the Rideshare movie. Tell us about that movie.
Yeah, that's right. So that was my first feature film. It's about a killer rideshare driver, killer Uber driver, one crazy night in LA. So I had my own production company, but I also was Ubering on the side, and I was working on a lot of other projects, like other people's projects, music videos and stuff like that. And then supplementing over the weekend, and kind of kept me out of trouble, was Ubering. And I'm like, well, I need to make a feature film. What could that be about? And then, of course, there was the a rideshare driver that killed people. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, well, and that's something that could be feasibly made, not easily, but I mean, feasibly made for, minimal locations, budget, stuff like that. So wrote the movie, and it's out now. It's on Amazon Prime. It's on Tubi TV, and it is on YouTube. We have about 239,000 views on it right now. So if you guys want to check it out, it is free to watch on YouTube. And check it out. So there's a lot of gig workers out here. I know there's truck drivers out there. So if you guys are,
I just posted it in the show notes too.
Oh, sweet. Awesome. Thank you, Steve. Yeah. So give it a look. Let me know what you think. If you love it, great. If you hate it, that's cool too. I think when it came out, it's very kind of polarizing. So I had everything from, it's the best horror movie in the past 10 years to it was the worst piece of garbage I've ever seen in my entire life. So, it
can be both too.
That's true. Yeah, you're both right. You're both right. Because
I mean, the same person can have the same feeling about the movie. I mean, it's a wonderful flick. I had a great time with it, and encourage people to see it. And if nothing else, it kind of gives you the amount of work that goes into making a movie. I mean, a lot of people think, well, as long as I have my my Apple iPhone, I can make a movie. No big deal. It's a lot of work that goes into it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, technically you could now, but yeah, people think you just, anything in a movie. If you look at anything literally anything in a movie, it's been placed there, from costume design to set design to props, like literally everything you look at. And so like these things don't, if you have a character, if you're writing a story, so like, the character's eating a taco, right? Okay. Well, that taco doesn't just come out of nowhere. You know what I mean? You don't just get right. You got to find an actor, find the taco. It has to look right. All this stuff, like all the planning and prep, and that goes into it. It's a lot. It is a lot. But for me, I wouldn't have it any other way. I love making movies. I love movies myself. I'm living my dream. I'm definitely been flying by the seat of my pants for the past few years because these movies cost money and they continue to cost money. So haven't quite had that big break quite yet, but we are. I created an Indiegogo campaign for the next 3 new movies this year. And if you guys want to check it out, go to Indiegogo.com, type in Hayho Studios, HAYHOE Studios, and you guys can get a lot of cool perks. You guys can get insider access to the studio. I'm actually selling golden tickets for $100. So this is a limited time only. I'm only doing it this time. And if I do it again, it would be like way pricier. But for the rest
I'm
of your
only
life,
doing it this time unless I do it again.
unless I do it again for way more. I'm only doing it this time for this cheap. Okay,
That's right. That's right. No,
I'm only doing it this time.
I see you working there.
Yeah. So, but we've had a lot of support. Steve's a golden ticket holder himself, so we got one in the room. So, thank you guys. I really appreciate the support so far. We're in this like middle of the campaign now, so it's like when it launches, it's really exciting. It's fun. At the end, it's like gonna do this. The last pitch, Hail Mary. We're in this like middle section now, so it's like got to keep that motivation going. And I just like to thank you, Steve, for keeping me going and stuff like that, and keep me motivated, because it's not easy, but you know what else am I going to be doing, right?
Making 4 movies, man. That's 4 movies.
Yeah, well, hopefully if we can raise a bit more, we'll make it happen. And I'll do my best to make him no matter what, but with your guys' help, we could definitely make him a lot faster and get it out there. And including the third one is the sequel to Rideshare. So everyone's been asking me, as soon as the movie came out, are you gonna make a sequel? Are you gonna make it? It's like, well, yes is the answer, but it's not free to make, and
the real question is Steve in it?
That's a great question. That's a great question. What do you guys?
That's not the only question.
It's the only question.
It's the only question everyone's been asking me. Is Steve in it? Is Steve in it? Please put Steve in it. Whatever you do.
I'm the buzz of Sacramento.
Well,
yeah.
There are other ways that people can support Hayho Studios.
Just by watching the movies and subscribing on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Hayho Studios, and Subscribe Star.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a Patreon type thing,
right? Are there people who do that?
There are. Yes, there are. So and that's been going good. I need to.
Tom's one of them.
But yes, Tom Kelly is one.
Oh yeah.
I think both of you guys. We have to subscribe. I was waiting for you to like. Just tell me. I'm not good at reading signs.
No, you're yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so I really appreciate that support, Tom, and that's been really good. It's been helping, a couple bills, along the way. And for this Indiegogo, it's more of like since it's a big kind of a lump sum type project, we're shooting, for the moon on it. So I
would have into that, but when I heard the title Indiegogo, I thought it was some kind of Bollywood disco movie, and so I backed off from it. So.
Oh, you did? Oh, yeah. Indiegogo, it's like independent film, or
okay.
It's a lot of independent film, and then a lot of actually a lot of products too, and dancing. We're making dance movies in 20. No, just kidding. I mean, we might one day, but no. So
it's called TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. I've yet to do the dance trend in the studio, doing TikTok dance moves. Maybe that's what I should do for a career from now on.
That's where we need to get Steve in the Rideshare Rodeo, the Rideshare movie remake, or part 2, or whatever it is. You got Steve in the background just doing this kind of sad dance,
or Steve's at a rodeo. Like rodeo, yeah.
I'm not getting killed though.
Looping bulls, dude. Yeah, put you in the ring. Let's put Steve in the ring. If you guys get the rodeo perk, Steve, we'll put Steve in the movie. No, just kidding.
I can make that up. No worries. So very cool. All right. Let's see. So Steve, you had up a banner there a little bit ago for our YouTube people. Can you put that back up regarding the cat movie?
Oh yeah. Yep, we got Cat Town Story.
Cat Town Story. Tell us about Cat Town Story, Tremaine.
Yeah, so the Cat Town Story is about an organization in Oakland, California that helps rehabilitate unwanted cats and makes them lovable pets. So they rehabbed and they brought down the euthanasia rates in Oakland by, I believe, 70%, 80%. They basically save a cat a day. They've saved over 3,000 cats from being euthanized. So a lot of times if people come into a pound and they see a scared cat in the corner, and is like hissing at him and clawing at him, probably not going to adopt that cat. Right. But what they do is they go in with the cats, and I won't spoil too much for the to watch the movie, but they rehabilitate the cats. So they actually can be rehabilitated. So just because they might seem angry or they might seem like they wouldn't be a good pet, they've just been through a traumatic situation. A lot of them have been dumped off in the side of the road. 2020, a lot of people just chucked their cats out the window. Or left them at the park, and pretty terrible thing. And this organization helps. They work with the pound, so it's not the actual pound, but they work with the pound, the animal shelter, and so they rehabilitate the cats. They bring them into the little hotels. So these cats get instead of little cages, they get little mini hotel rooms. They rehabilitate them, and a lot of the people that adopt the cats learn that they say, oh yeah, we may have saved the cat, but the cat actually saved them, because having a cat or having a pet can be a really rewarding thing. And actually, I just adopted a cat myself. 2 weeks ago, I adopted a cat called Moo Moo. I named her. She looks like a little cow, and I can already tell. My whole demeanor is already a lot better, because I live alone. I'm a solopreneur, YOLOpreneur, and having a cat at the end of the day to cuddle with, I guess, I don't know. It sounds kind of sad, but she's great. She's awesome. And it's cats are a lot pretty low maintenance too, especially because she's a little bit of an older cat and all that good stuff. So it's an hour-long documentary, guys. Check it out. It's free on my YouTube channel with ads. Watch the ads. It's also on Tubi TV as well. But yeah, so this is, I'll show you guys. This is Moo Moo right there.
Right. So we're seeing a picture.
Showing a picture. So
right.
Anyway, so yeah, so we learned a lot about cats. I mean, 2020 when everything happened, it was well, what can you do? You couldn't really gather a huge cast and crew, but you could film an interview. Documentaries are very affordable to make in relative to feature films. So yeah, it's a lot of people talking about cats and the whole process of adopting a cat. But I think you guys will like it. You'd enjoy it. A very wholesome, family-friendly documentary. So
very good.
Yeah,
I've seen it. Good movie.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, and we won Best Picture at the Pinewood Studios All in Global Network Film Festival. So yeah, so it's an award-winning Best Picture, guys. Best Picture, the top out of thousands.
Big deal
of
studio
movies.
too.
Yeah. So yeah, Pinewood Studios, same studio that's in London. Movies that were shot there are Harry Potter, James Bond, and a lot some of the most legendary movies that have ever been made.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyway,
absolutely. Pinewood Studio. Yeah, that Pinewood always reminds me of those Pinewood Derby cars. That you guys ever participate in the Pinewood Derby? And
we did that in Boy Scouts. That was fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I did that one year, and my car was just killing it every single time. And so it was down to 4 cars left, and my car won its race. So I'm going into the main event, and my brother, who was 2 years younger than me at the time, was really, really excited. and picked up my car and in jumping around, snapped off the wheel.
Oh, no.
And I did the best I could to kind of fix it. Well, but I mean, it was over.
Wasn't the same.
So that was close to 60 years ago, and I haven't spoken to him yet. So it's no.
Wait, and that's the day it changed.
That's the day we kicked him out of the family. All right, hey, we got to take a break on the radio side. Top of the hour, going to check out the news, all that kind of stuff. We'll be back in just a few minutes. You're listening to TNCRadio.live, simulcasting tonight on YouTube. Rideshare Rodeo. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Stay right there.
Are you tired of being limited by the algorithms of the courier apps? Do you want to take control of your earning potential as an independent contractor? Hi, my name is Hannibal, and I run the Hannibal is Hungry YouTube channel. Tune into the Beyond the Algorithm live stream with my co-host Steve Rideshare Rodeo. In each episode, we share valuable insights and tips on how to achieve income beyond the courier apps and become a true independent contractor. Join us for practical advice and inspiring stories that help you know your worth and maximize your earning potential. Don't miss the Beyond the Algorithm live stream on the Hannibal is Hungry.
Meet Joe. He is a gig worker trying to make money using his car. He uses multiple gig apps all at the same time to maximize his earnings. But this can be difficult and dangerous while driving. Sometimes the requests come in so fast, Joe can't pick and choose the best trips to take, which can result in lower pay or lower rated disruptive passengers. That was until Joe found Maximo, the automation app that helps gig workers accept and decline trip requests. Maximo will use the filters set by Joe, like time, distance, and rating, to determine which trips are best suited for Joe. When a trip request comes in, Joe doesn't need to worry. Maximo will compare the trip details to Joe's filters and then determine if it should automatically accept the trip, decline the trip, or allow Joe to decide by showing the per mile and per minute rates. When a trip has been accepted, Maximo will turn off the other apps that aren't on a trip. Once Joe finishes a trip, Maximo will turn everything back on. This will allow Joe to reduce his stress and frustration, drive safe, and focus on the important tasks. Check out Maximo at www.maximoapp.com.
Paradrivers love Paraworks because they find it easy and convenient to get matched to jobs that help them earn a lot more and reduce their downtime.
I joined Paraworks because I do a lot of driving gig work, and I saw on Craigslist that they were looking for people to help with product control in grocery stores. The gigs I have done include product merchandising, product delivery, and food delivery. I like Paraworks because I can work when I want to, and I really like that when I have questions or concerns, there is someone to text who will get back to me within the same day. My favorite Paraworks gig was the one I did originally, stocking and counting one brand of tortillas at multiple grocery stores. I believe this was the best offer as there were several in the same city each day, each paying $11. And some days I could get all the close ones and make $100 in less than 2 hours. My tip for new users is to reach out with questions if you ever don't understand something. The folks on the other end of the text are very friendly and helpful.
It's like professional grade commercials.
Well done. I like Hannibal's one. It's really good.
Yeah, I asked him to do that yesterday.
Oh my gosh! Wow, he did it in a damn.
Not even a day. I think he did it in like an hour.
Wow, he's on it. He's on the ball.
Yeah.
Gosh damn it. It means I gotta do mine like right now.
Talked about so much this week.
How's everyone out in comment land? Say hi. Don't be shy.
Let's see what we got on here. What's up? What's up, Polly? How are you? What's up, Flower? I'm trying to energize, guys. It's just been I think most of you know it's been a long week for me. I went back to did 2 audio podcasts, did the Para Presents, did the Curry Roundtable or the Curry discussion with multiple markets. The roundtable last night, we were short Gary and Hannibal, and we had Ron Entree Courier, and then we had Sergio from the Rideshare guy. It's just been a hectic week, but really good content. If you haven't seen anything that we did this week, please go check it out. Oh, and the Rideshare Professor and I did a really good piece.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that was a good piece. I was tuning into your one last night. Well, we'll talk about that later, maybe.
With Sergio.
Yeah, with Sergio.
Uh-huh.
I was listening to it when I was driving to my Knights of Columbus meeting, and it was like the Sergio show. That guy was like,
well, because I gave him 6 articles that I really wanted to talk about with Uber and Lyft, and since he's with the Rideshare guy, I figured I've read these. Let's talk about them. So I kind of let him take the lead on those.
Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't have Gary and Hannibal, so I was like, let him take the lead. I kind of did it backwards. I said, let him take the lead, and then I'll feed off that.
Okay.
And we'll all go from there, because I think that worked out best. Like next week, we'll just be back to our panel, and then occasionally we'll have guests. I think when we have the guests, we're really going to focus on them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we used to have guests every week, and then we went to no guests for like the last 5 months.
Coming back here on the radio side a little bit late. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back in TNCRadio.live. It's Friday night, and that means it's time to talk about the gig economy stuff. But first, a word from the President of the United States of America.
People have a problem. They've got your number. They knock on your door. Not only you, but your spouses can't go to the grocery store, the gas station, can't show up without, can you fix my such and such?
What?
It's actually that's the first time I've understood it tonight, and it made as much sense as when it sounded like it sounded like the Peanuts before. Like
Hey, let's try this one more time.
No, that sound I heard it.
Yeah, follow the logic here.
People have a problem. Mm-hmm. They've got your number. Mm-hmm. They knock on your door. Not only you, but your spouses can't go to the grocery store, the gas station, can't show up without. Can you fix my such and such?
Right.
What?
Hey, man. Most votes the president's ever had.
Yeah, record.
Like this is the man we think is the smartest man to run the country. And I'm not being sided here. I'm just talking about this man.
I'm not being political, but he's an.
Well, I'm not. I'm picking on one person.
Yeah.
He is a mess, dude.
What?
Yeah, I mean, the sad part is I guess what really bothers me about it is that other countries this is very embarrassing.
It's beyond embarrassing.
I mean, other countries are watching this on a daily basis. Like, dude, this guy can't say his name straight.
Yeah, a little bit.
This isn't even. This isn't funny. It's
it's sad. It's actually pretty funny. It's pretty funny, but
it's sad.
I've tried watching it. It's just like, man, like the energy just gets.
I don't even watch it, not just to not get mad at him. I don't watch it because I feel bad for him at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
I really do. I feel like, dude, like this man I don't even know. Maybe he's just a computer now. Like he doesn't have control of himself. He doesn't know.
Computer thing is a computer would work.
Right, but he doesn't know where he is most of the time. They're just like, get on stage and talk about. He's like, what?
Yeah.
I just feel bad. I feel like he doesn't know where he is.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't know who he is either.
It's all fun and games until your president has dementia.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But
and until the vice president is like the last thing on earth you want.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
I mean, it's almost like they picked her. I don't know if you guys ever saw that Dave Chappelle skit where he's like, I know that if I ever become president, I'll get like one of the guys from Mexico in a cartel as my vice president, because I'll be like, you don't like me, you're getting him.
Right. Yeah. Right.
That's how I feel. I feel it's like what are you gonna do?
And for me as a director and filmmaker, I look at her speaking, and it's like, man, this is like, it's bad acting. It's just horrible terrible acting. Very disingenuous people. You know what I mean? Just very disingenuous.
Well,
but people see through that.
Look at, I mean, let's be honest though. Let's not just pick on them. Most of politicians are like this. It's just that this is like a train wreck. And normally like the people who can like kind of sweep over a story or help out a little bit and steer it back on track and this and that, they're even off the track. Like they're all in crazy town.
There's only so much smoke and mirrors can do, you can't, it's like,
that's why I say it. I think they're trying to push everything through now. I mean, like, we should probably mention this, that because it now is official. Before it was just, I think we all took it as official because it was as close as it could be. But Marty Walsh is leaving the Biden administration before the end of the month to become the NHL Players Union representative. He's going to be taking, $3 million a year as opposed to his 100 and some thousand a year that he was going to get. So he's making $250,000 a month as compared to $140,000 a year. But his whole life was based around the PRO Act. So now Julie Sue will become the temporary Department of Labor secretary. And she's like a hot mess. Tremaine, you might not follow the politics of her, but she's from your state. She actually cost your state $8.6 billion.
What? How?
Yeah, she did. And now she's going to be running the Department of Labor for Biden.
Great. Awesome.
Yeah. Because the other guy's going to the NHL. After a lifetime of fighting for union, now he's going to the NHL. So
well, he's moving up in the world at least,
Yeah, at least, the one thing I'll say is at least this probably derails the PRO Act. Biden is still, again, I'm surprised you don't have a soundbite on that, Tom. I mean, like from the State of the Union, he even, I think against all of the advisors, even he brought it up again. They're like, dude, we're not doing that anymore. And he's like, well, I'm going to talk about it. Well, but it's dead. We tried to break it apart, push it through in pieces. That didn't work. We tried the PRO Act 3 times. It's dead. Marty Walsh is leaving. It's his project. It's dead. And he's like, I'm going to go push it right now.
That's basically what happened, I think.
And it's like, because he, in the State of the Union, he's like, and then we need the PRO Act. I was like, dude,
well, yeah.
You need medication is what you need, Joe. Sorry, it's a pick on Joe night,
I guess. But I mean, come on.
Again, I feel bad for the guy. I really do. I mean, I think that he's a puppet now. And it's sad because I think we've given the guy some credit too, as he deserves. I don't agree with his politics. That doesn't make me a Republican or a Democrat, but I don't agree with his politics because I give him a lot of credit for an entire lifetime, 50 years fighting for unions. So it's something he believes in. I can't argue with the man for that. But now he's at this point where he's such a mess. It's like, God, all your work led up to this, and now you can't put a sentence together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
It's
think
tough,
there should be
tough
like
to make laws when you can't speak.
Speaking of not speaking, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
What?
Can you hear me?
What?
Can you hear me?
No.
What?
Can you hear me?
No.
Not kidding. That wasn't
emergency.
I do have one story we should talk about though. This is a good one. We talked about this last night. Uber and Lyft fares I mean, this is I've got Engadget up, I've got Vice up right now. It's in Cranes, New York. It's in all the big ones. So kind of the same story is that Uber and Lyft fares skyrocketed, but drivers didn't see all the benefits. Uber and Lyft driver pay isn't keeping up with soaring fares. These are the headlines. And what it's talking about is the 2019 having the minimum wage or the minimum payment for gig workers, rideshare. And they're saying that since that was integrated into New York City, the companies are making so much more than they were, and the drivers are making less, which proves my theory of floor meets ceiling. You're basically, this is what happens with employee status too. You're basically opting into, I'd like to just be paid the minimum, please. Because I mean, when you see the differences, I mean, there have to be people out there working DoorDash and taking $1 per hour with a no tip $3 order, and they're making $3 an hour, and that's throwing off the skew. And then you got the people making 30, 40, and now they got to make sure that those $3 people are making at least 16 to 18. That's not what, I don't know. I would hope the gig economy would just fold at that point. I mean, it won't, because we were talking about this last night. It's worldwide, and it's supposed to triple worldwide in 2 years. So how do we not keep up? We have to, but this is getting ridiculous. I don't know. I mean, basically, this is a study that was done it's done off 5.2 million trips too by the University of California. So it's, I don't know. It's a little much that, here they were saying, listen, this is our proof. We're going to do this. Well, okay. I mean, now we're 3 years after, and we're looking at all that data, and we're saying, no, it hurt everybody across the board, except for the companies. The companies are now making more. So I don't know what you guys did, but it didn't work. And then I was reading the story on unions. It kind of blew me away on the union part, because the unions, I was reading that they're in 2022 is their lowest recorded year since 1983 of union members. 10.1% of W-2 employees in this country are in a union. And in 1983 was the high of 20.8% of all W-2 employees were in a union. So 1 out of every 5 people in 1983 was in a union. And now 1 out of every 10 is, but the W-2 model's dying off and the unions are dying. So it's I don't know. The idea of trying to make everybody be in a union, I think that those kind of stats speak for themselves. Look, it's failing. Why would we do this? I don't know. That's all I got on that one.
Yeah, I have nothing, so I'm just listening. I'm learning about you guys. I'm learning.
The head of the Teamsters. Oh my God, his name just went out of my head. Anyway, he's been pounding his chest recently, trying to get something going. I think he feels under attack because of the continuing falling of membership. And, they've tried a couple of places to bring in the Teamsters and to get unions going. They've tried to unionize the Amazon drivers. They tried to unionize the UPS drivers. A lot of different drivers around that they've tried to unionize, where it's failed. And, of course, they blame everybody else. Well, it failed because Amazon set it up in such a way that this vote would fail, or it failed because, but nobody wants to take the blame that, maybe you're not offering a product people want to be a part of.
True.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. It's a product. Okay. And if you want us to get excited about, look, I'll join a union if there's a good reason for me to. I'm not opposed to unions because it's a union. I'm opposed to unions because of what they've represented in the past, and that they don't add any extra value to what I'm doing. You want to form a union that's going to protect the rights of the independent contractor and let us, work together and put together some kind of collaborative bargaining agreement so that we're able to do more with others. Sure, I'll listen to that speech. Just another union where you're going to get out there and you're going to take my money. I don't know where my money's going. I don't know what you're going to do with it. And at the end of a collective bargaining agreement, my pay raise is 0.8% higher than it used to be. Why do I want that? They're not selling a good product right now. Take away the, why they were created and any of the drama around it. We're really rather simple creatures. People try to make this really complicated, and they teach courses on it. And all. The truth of it is, we're really rather simple.
Yeah.
Okay? If you've got something that is helpful to us, and we can all get behind it, and it's going to help us work together as a group better, we'll listen. If you don't, shut up. Quit your whining. We don't want to. We don't need your whining. I am so tired of people who begin a sentence with, "Well, back in my day, when we had, we had the union and all that." I don't care. Those days are gone. They're never coming back. Never ever coming back.
No, and we were comparing those last week to people would go into a career at Ford, and you would retire at Ford. That also doesn't happen. These things are done. They're different.
That's right. And
they're completely different. And a union model has no place.
So those of you listening, those of you watching online, you want to know where the next big thing is? Come up with a way for us to work together in a way that is different than what we've done in the past, and helpful, and gets us there without destroying the income and the hard work of people who, look, again, we're simple people. We just want to be able to go make a few bucks when we need to make a few bucks. Not make a few bucks when we don't want to. We're not nobody. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. 99.9% of the people don't want to rip anybody off. Okay, we just want our fair shake. We just want to do our work, get paid for it, and go home. And don't mess with me.
And just to put, I want to add a little context here, because if those people who just think we pick on the unions, I want to point something out that Biden is pushing two things right now, and this is very important to talk about. This, I think that. He's pushing for everybody to be a W. In his mind, I don't know if his mind, in his world, he thinks that we should all be W-2 employees. He really doesn't think any of us should ever have the opportunity to run a business. I don't know that that's his words of how he views it, but that is what he's going for. He wants us all to be W-2 employees. At the same time, that would apply to the gig economy and all this stuff. Not the traditional, which it would also apply to, like EB5 destroyed, but you would have the platform gig companies would all apply. And he's also at the same time pushing for a non-compete. So if that can make sense in anybody's head, please comment, because if there's a non-compete, but you have to be a W-2 employee for one of these companies, what does the non-compete matter?
So that you don't quit and go to work for a different company.
The non-compete thing he's pushing is that non-competes are going to be not accepted.
Oh, the ending of the non-compete.
Yeah, he wants non-competes over everywhere for good. Mm-hmm. Okay, well that would go with the flow of being an independent contractor.
Yeah, I'd have to think through that a little bit.
I mean, basically think of it this way. Right now, every gig worker I know is multi-apping, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're on some level. Maybe they're not doing them all at once, but they're working on multiple apps. That becomes over, but he wants a non-compete? Or he wants non-competes to not apply? Why would it matter? You can only work for one. You're not going to be working for 9 as W-2 employees.
Yeah, no, actually, that is their thinking, Steve.
That you'll be working for 9 companies?
Yes.
Well, again, another.
That's why I believe
another system that isn't in place to handle something like that. We're talking about portable benefits and things like that now that don't even exist yet. So that's
exactly. That's why ridiculous. I believe. That's why I always come back to follow the money, follow the money, follow the money. These guys. This is all about how to get money out of your pocket and into somebody else's pocket.
Yeah.
That at the end of none of this stuff about we're from the government, we're here to help you. That's a joke, because it's a joke. Nobody from the government really cares. I'm sorry, they don't. They're not here to save you. And if you believe that, you're as gullible as they think you are. They're not here to help you. They're not here to keep you away from the corporate empire and the mean people at Uber and all that. They don't care. All they know is if there's a way to get money out of your pocket, whether you're selling beer or serving sandwiches or driving your Uber or whatever, all they can figure out is how can, I'm not getting enough money out of Steve's pocket so that I can get it into Jermaine's pocket so that I can get what I want.
Yep.
Okay. So that's the end goal of any of this. And I'm not being cynical. Okay. I'm a little cynical, but I'm old. I've earned my cynicism. But it's not just cynicism here. It's just the way it is. And this is the way it's always been. That's just go back to the founding of this country. Why did we want to break away from England? People say, "Oh, it's about religious freedom and all that." No,
we wanted to test boats.
At the end of the day, we didn't like the way they were taking taxes out of our hands and giving them to other people. We didn't like it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The fight continues. Whoever is in charge of the government's going to figure out some way to get your money out of your pocket and give it to somebody else so they can get what they want. It's always been true and always will be true.
Hey, before we go to a break, I'm going to leave you guys with a little clickbait here, because when we come back, here's what we're going to talk about. And this is a true story. DoorDash driver gets thrown under the bus by entitled customer who said she never got her food. Proves she's lying and gets her arrested.
Oh, my goodness me.
Wow. All right.
More coming up next.
Yeah, we'll be back with that more. And also talking about the warning coming out of the Department of Homeland Security tonight and why it matters to you. TNCRadio.live. Stay right there.
Are you a DoorDash delivery driver? Would you like to be safer and less stressed while driving and earn more at the same time? The Driver's Utility Helper app allows you to do just that. Create custom filters and its automated system does the work for you, automatically declining unwanted low-paying requests and accepting more profitable requests so you can focus on driving. Visit acceptordecline.com to get started today.
Are you tired of being limited by the algorithms? Are you tired of being limited by the algorithms of the courier apps? Do you want to take control of your earning potential as an independent contractor? Hi, my name is Hannibal, and I run the Hannibal is Hungry YouTube channel. Tune into the Beyond the Algorithm live stream with my co-host Steve Rideshare Rodeo. In each episode, we share valuable insights and tips on how to achieve income beyond the courier apps and become a true independent contractor. Join us for practical advice and inspiring stories that help you know your worth and maximize your earning potential. Don't miss the Beyond the Algorithm live stream on the Hannibal is Hungry YouTube channel.
Hey, Houston professional drivers. TNCRadio.live keeps you on track to make more money with detailed traffic, emergency, weather, and driver information and entertainment. We're Houston's only driver navigation station. Get our app on TNCRadio.live, Google Play, or Alexa.
So, Steve, when we originally put that together, the model of TNC Radio was that we would franchise this out to multiple cities.
Right.
So there would be a full-time internet-based streaming station in all these different cities that would be nothing but weather and traffic and local reports and things to help Uber and Lyft and DoorDash drivers locally. And we were going to start with Houston. City 2 was Denver, interestingly enough, then Chicago, then Dallas, then St. Louis. We're starting in the Midwest, and then we're going to go off to the to the sides. But we all that was supposed to launch on March the 24th of 2020.
Yep.
And then March the 12th of 2020 happened, and the entire world stopped. And there was no Uber, and there was no Lyft, and we ended up shifting into trucking. And I still believe in that model, that franchise model of having things locally to the cities. But I'm also happy with the way things turned out too.
Yeah. No, sometimes you got to just go with what happens organically.
Yeah. Well, and remember when that first happened, when they shut down the world, they said, well, just be a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's going to be, okay, well, wait a minute. Now, might be the whole summer. And then it was, well, we might have to cancel school for the rest of the year.
What did you guys think when it first happened?
I thought this was just good. I thought it was a short time thing. That would be right.
I mean, I'm trying to remember even what I thought. I don't even remember, like, if I thought, oh, it's just a couple weeks. Okay.
No, yeah, I thought it would be a few weeks.
I don't know. I didn't think it'd be a few weeks, but I didn't think it'd be a few years.
Yeah.
You know? Like, yeah.
10 seconds. So yeah, it forced us to kind of rebuild the whole company. But all right, guys, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, welcome back in TNCRadio.live, live on a Friday night. Live on a Friday night. Reminder that we will not be live next Friday night. Going to take a week off next Friday, and for good reason. It's my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday!
Celebrating the big 6-0.
50.
Wow! Oh my gosh, that's the big one. Tell me about your feelings and emotions going through it.
You know, it's funny, Tremaine. You turn 16. That's kind of a cool birthday, right? You turn 21, you can drink. That's kind of a cool birthday. 30 is kind of cool. You know, I'm an adult. I'm 30. And let's face it, the rest of them, they're not that interested. It's like, okay, I'm 32. You know, I'm 36. You know, whatever. You know, they're not that. 60 is the first time where I feel it, and where I was like, damn, 60, that's pretty old. You know, my dad died when he was 68. And, you know, I have a lot of friends. I mean, we've had, 4 funerals we've been to this in the last 6 months and stuff, of friends who, you know, we lost my wife's brother this year. So this one feels old. I feel this one. You know, it's like, oh God, I'm 60. You know, there are a lot of things that I do in places I go where now I get to get in free or half.
All right, it's the senior citizen discount, right?
Like,
yeah.
Oh, you know, are you kidding me? You know, so yeah, I don't.
Hey, that's supposed to be the perk to make you feel better about it.
Yeah, but I don't feel 60 inside. You know, inside I still got a lot, you know, like going on. It's still, you know, happy and all that kind of stuff. Starting to feel it in the bones a little bit, you know. But I don't know. I guess it beats the alternative, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turning 60. But I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, good question, Tremaine. Appreciate you asking. But yeah, I'm going to take next week off and go hang out with some friends and whatever. So
nice.
those of you who are Star Trek fans, you anybody up here a Star Trek fan? Right.
I actually recently started watching some of the Star Trek episodes.
Yeah. Well, Star Trek Picard began its 3rd season yesterday, reuniting the old Star Trek Next Generation cast, and caught that yesterday. And I got to say, we're off to a much better start than we did with Picard season 2, which, in my opinion, was pretty horrible. Even being a Star Trek fan,
it's kind of like geriatrics Trek.
Geriatric. Not much of a Trek, kind of a
Star Trek Next Geriatrics. But yeah, no, we were off to a good start with this season, so I'm happy about that. Yeah. Steve, you said you used a little clickbait before we left. I've got some too, so why don't you go first?
All right. So nurse stiffs DoorDash driver gets arrested. Pretty good, right? So the driver was making a routine lunch delivery to the hospital nearby. Customer didn't provide any detail or any delivery instructions other than to call when I arrived. I called and called, no reply, waited and waited. In that instance, we leave the food in a safe place, in this case, at the admissions desk, and notify the customer. About 5 minutes later, I started getting furious texts from the person. Where's my food? I told you where to bring it. You goddamn moron. Not to leave it there. This is your fault. You're an effing idiot.
Seems like a great person.
Yeah. So 5 minutes go by and I get notified that she claimed she never received the food and left a negative rating. So I contacted support to address the rating, and since I was nearby, returned to the hospital and found to find out what happened to the order. When I arrived, the admissions desk personnel told the driver the individual came down in a huff, cussing, and took the food, and it's on camera. DoorDash is on with the customer who is texting that somebody stole it, and she refuses to pay for it. I knew the order. Okay, so DoorDash says if I can verify it was received, then they will remove the rating. Admissions people notify an admin to come talk to me. The admin contacts hospital security, who speaks to me, then decides to go ask the nurse to pay for the order. They talked to her. She refused. They said they might be forced to go notify the police, and she said, go ahead, to call to the hospital security. The police are contacted. I file a brief statement for theft of service, and a female detective reached out to me a few weeks later and said, do you really think it's worth pursuing such a small amount? She reminded me of her vindictive texts and how she was offered multiple opportunities to avoid charges, and she had refused. She literally came after me hard. My mind was instantly made up. The detective said she would go to her house first, but if she wasn't home, she'd go arrest her at work. She was arrested for a misdemeanor, fraud, and something else.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
What?
Hashtag karma. Hashtag karma. Karma police got her. And the real
God, Karens, knock it off.
That's like, yeah. That's
first of all, what? Like, you work at a hospital. There's a camera in every room. There's 10 cameras in every room. Did you really think that they wouldn't have you on camera grabbing the bag?
Right.
Obviously, this is an angry person who, if it wasn't this, it'd be something else. It's probably the best thing that's ever happened to her to get arrested.
Yeah, I hope she learns a lesson from this, but typically people like that they'll just blame everything else, and they won't actually
you heard all her excuses.
Learn anything
and this is still after being told she's on tape. We have you on tape. We have you on 10 angles.
Right, yeah, like there's cameras everywhere in a hospital.
Yeah, there's no getting around this. Yeah. And that person at the desk had to be like crap because the desk admins usually know all the staff. So she probably knows the lady or the nurse. Yeah. And she had no choice but to narc her out, though. The dude came in and said, hey, what happened to that package I left here with you? And she's like, I gave it to her. He's like, well, she's saying she didn't get it, so I'm going to have her arrested.
Gosh, so that's scary thing is she works at a hospital, like she's a doctor or a nurse. Like, I wonder how she treats her patients.
It was it's the first delivery customer address arrest I've ever heard of.
Yeah, I've never heard of that before.
I've heard of rideshare customers being arrested, but not delivery customers.
Karens.
I want my food. I'm going to get arrested.
She must have been really hungry. She's just...
I don't know. I found it amazingly funny. And I'm glad that he stuck to his guns. I'm glad he went back. I'm glad he was like, you know what? Because I'm sure he was thinking what we're talking about. Like, hey, man, that was a hospital. They got this on camera. I'm going to go call this out.
Do we know for sure it was a guy? It was a delivery person? Yeah. So I mean, it could have been a girl too. I mean, does that change our feeling about the story if the story is that the driver was also female?
I don't think it matters either
Yeah,
way.
No, it doesn't matter who.
If the driver was female and the customer was male, we'd really be okay with this guy getting arrested, wouldn't you? If he had fired off those kinds of texts to some 21-year-old grad student who's trying to work her way through school or something like that, and he's treating her like that.
I like it when the hospital security comes up and says, and they're like, we might be forced to call the police, and she's like, go ahead.
Ooh,
like,
yeah.
This is a lady who's
man.
like, she's ready to go. I'm glad I wasn't on her operating table that day.
Right. Yeah. Could you imagine?
This is a person who I hope that, I don't want her to go to jail. I want the judge to send her to 6 months of anger management.
Yeah.
In jail.
Yeah. And anger management in jail. There we go.
Yeah, this is a person.
I mean, she pushed it to jail. I mean, they gave her every out and then some, like kind of like knock it off. And she just kept going. It's like, okay, Karen, we've met you before.
Well, and that's another thing is like people like that. She doesn't think she thinks she's like calling their bluff, right? She thinks that she probably thought that they wouldn't actually do it. Like, yeah, go ahead, arrest me. Yeah, sure. What are you guys going to do? Arrest me, right? And then they say they're going to arrest you, and then they arrest you, and then you're surprised. She's, I've met a lady like that was like that. That was very similar. That just, unfortunately, she didn't get thrown in jail, but that's a whole nother story.
I mean, I guess my thought on that is, he didn't know she was even that bad only from the text. But if you ever are getting texts like that and you're doing delivery, make sure that if you're going to call it out, you're going to somewhere where you got some serious proof. First of all, he probably had to take a picture through DoorDash too and show that it was delivered.
Yeah.
But sometimes that doesn't hold up. But I mean, like in this instance, he gave it to somebody at a desk. He knew he could go back there and say, listen, what happened to that? Like, I think be careful if you really call it out. Sometimes you're just going to get a bad rating is my point. Just deal with it. It might not be worth dealing with the Karen.
Well, I mean, I'm glad
whether it be a guy or a girl Karen,
well,
a Ken or a Karen.
Well, could you imagine? Because if it was a house, imagine if it was a house and she like came out or he came back and then she came out like swinging or something like that, and started like, slapping him or with a, you know what I mean? Like shoot, right?
I didn't get my food.
Anyway, yeah, I didn't get it. It's like, it's right there. But like he was in a hospital, so it was like in a free, it was a good like security was around and everything. There's cameras and stuff. So
I just love how people get to the point of, you know what? I've waited long enough. I'm going to get the food and say I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, where did this come from? This doesn't seem to be a tactic you should be able to use. Like, yeah, I'm not going to order from them again. That sucked. Okay. But not, you know what? This took too long. First of all, there's no guarantee on the time. This took too long. I'm going to eat it and not pay for it.
Right.
You can't just make up whatever you want.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's sweet justice.
So I'm pushing the clutch here a little bit and change gears. And I want to put something else out there for you guys. Coming out of the IT world, part of what I did was work with companies to help determine what happens if their computer systems should be damaged by hurricane, earthquake, robbery, insider, people creating problems. So we came up with risk mitigation plans for the entire IT operation system, and was critically important here in Houston, where hurricanes do happen and buildings do get wiped out. And, how do you have yourself set up to regain that kind of information? One day while doing this, it occurred to me as I listened to all the people sitting around the table talking about, well, this hurricane does this and this hurricane does that. And it occurred to me, that's not our number one threat now. It's really not. And it's not your number one threat as a driver, as a gig economy worker. I want to propose to you that your real threat is you're going to wake up tomorrow morning and there is no internet. that a denial of service attack has taken down the internet in the United States for a day or some number of days.
Ooh.
This is not something that's science fiction. It's something even that Secretary Mayorkas of the what is it? Cyber text domestic violent extremism, Secretary Homeland Security, Secretary, Department of Homeland Security. You know, this is stuff that they worry about every day. And I'm telling you, this is not a matter of if it will happen. We are perhaps already at war with the Chinese. But war doesn't look like what war used to look at, where we all go out to some battlefield and shoot guns at each other and see how many we can kill. Things are different now. We got balloons flying over the country, and we've got economic warfare, and we've got
aliens.
All sorts of, we're shooting at UFOs and all that kinds of stuff. We got also, war looks completely different now and you don't even have to declare war to be at war with somebody. And it is not impossible. In fact, I propose that it's actually not only possible, it's probable that at some point, Russia, China, some combination thereof, North Korea, somebody launches a denial of service attack against the United States across the entire internet system. And I want to know, you as workers who are living in the gig economy, what are you going to do if you wake up and there is no internet for the coming week?
Well, you got bigger problems than the gig apps.
Gig workers day off.
You got bigger problems than the app not coming on.
So what are you going to do?
Well, I live in Colorado, bro. I'm going to the mountains.
Right. Yeah. Go to the snow. Do something.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm going to go
to the beach or.
I'm just happy I have DVDs.
I know what to do.
I've got
I'm not
physical
going to give away
media.
my plan, though.
Well, but my point is, you should have a plan. I have a plan. I have a plan on how to make some money off of it.
Okay.
Where am I going to go? How am I going to position myself in such a way that I still know that people, so the internet might be down, but that very well may not keep all of industry from working. So where can I go where I know people are going to be that still need rides, that still need organization, that still need, there are things at the airport, there are things at the mall,
but with
different places.
But would the FAA or would the airports be down?
Well, good question. Yeah, if it's just an internet attack, then they may all be down, but it could be attack against Uber or Lyft or DoorDash or some combination thereof. We could be in a position where part of the country has a denial of service attack and part doesn't. And it could be something that may last for a substantial amount of time.
Yeah. I mean, if it's like a day or, a couple days, I don't think it'd be a big deal. But if it does last longer than that, I mean, that would be a serious threat to, a lot of people's works and jobs and livelihoods. Mm-hmm. And that is a scary thing. That is something that I haven't even really thought of. But I could see that happening.
Well, I mean, we went from like only concerned about nuclear missiles to biological warfare. And now the most fearful thing is, who's got control of the power and by that, I mean, energy, like not power, but like energy, and who has control of the internet. I mean, because you can take down a lot with the internet. You can take down grids. You can take down, I mean, nothing's bulletproof.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is it's something that you should have in your mind what your backup plan is going to be if the internet was unavailable for some period of time. Because most of us, my entire radio station's built on the internet being there. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And my assumption is that there is some kind of foundational strength that's going to keep the internet being there no matter what. And the truth of it is, there's not.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of the internet that's out there that makes assumptions on people's goodwill.
Yeah. Yeah, there is.
And if that was to crumble, whether the goodwill crumbled or the technology crumbled or the technology was negatively impacted by others, it could change the world in a very strong way overnight. And then, okay, so it comes back and is back for a day or two and goes out again. I mean, could you imagine the world that we'd be living in and something like that? I mean, it would be, we'd be lost.
Yeah.
Well, we've survived without internet before, right, Tom and Steve?
Yeah, but we moved technology too quickly forward. So
Yeah.
now it's almost a reliance. It's become a reliance on it, and that's the problem.
Right.
I mean, this is just Tremaine. You know this.
Yeah.
Chat GPT. I mean, that's just
True.
one thing, but look at that's a step too far. Like without any kind of like really looking at it first before you're just kind of.
I saw a thing. It Chat GPT got to 1 million users in 5 days. Facebook took 8 months. Chat GPT took 5 days. So that's it's crazy thinking about something like that. And then it's gotten so big so quick. And like you said, it is something that I don't think anyone asked the proper questions,
Right, like Tremaine wrote a movie with Dark Road Run only on Chat GPT, and I asked him. I said, "Would you own it?"
Yeah, and I didn't know the answer
like,
to that question.
Who would own this?
Who
I don't
owns
know.
it? But I think, if you use it as a tool, it should be mine, right? Because it would be like the screenwriting software that I have, right? The software doesn't own the script. We wrote the script, although the AI technically wrote it, but I guided it, so it's like this weird hairy situation.
Yeah, I'm working with somebody, Steve. I can't promise that this is going to work, but I'm trying to set it up for 2 weeks from tonight.
Okay.
That it's not Chat GPT, but it's like it to co-host with us one night.
Oh, you mean like an actual, like we'll give it commands or something?
Yeah, we'll tell it what's going on and ask it questions. And so it'll be a picture of, you got Steve, Tom, Tremaine, Gary, and the AI app.
Yeah. I mean, Tremaine has a whole movie from Chat GPT.
Yeah, and it took all of like 20 minutes to write, pretty much. It's insane. Like all scenes, you just write it, because there's a limit to how long it can write, but you just say write the next scene, and then they'll just write, and then they'll say like, oh, actually, it probably took because there were a couple sessions, so it probably took a couple hours in all honesty, but still, versus like months to write a script. I mean, Rideshare took me about 30 days to write the script, the first one. If you're a human being, it doesn't take too long, but you can't compete with Chat GPT.
Right.
You can't. Yeah. It's writing it so quick.
Yeah.
The only way you can compete is putting in your own human element into it. Okay. Anyway, sorry. No.
I'm going to skip the last radio break, guys. So those of you on the radio, if you're waiting for that break, we missed that. We've got about 7 minutes left, so we're just going to take it up to close to the top of the hour, take it up to about 58, so that gives us 5 more minutes. So just letting those people who are listening on the radio know, because someone may be sitting there waiting to take, okay, I'm going to take the break, and they didn't do a break, so we'll skip that one out. Steve, tell us what do you got coming up now on Rideshare Rodeo? What's going to we got the big thing Wednesday. Let's go over that and talk about that again. And not you referenced it, but you didn't really explain it earlier.
Right. Yeah. So we talked about it a little bit last week. So Kim Cavan, Karen Anderson. Karen Anderson is one of the biggest fighters and most knowledgeable people that I know on AB5. This isn't about the gig economy. Or I mean, it is in a way, but it's not. She's not battling for the Prop 22 part. She's actually battling the big problem, the AB5 or AB 2257. Kim Cavan she's in California. Kim Cavan's on the other side of the country, and she's one of the most ruthless get in there and fight women when it comes to independent contractor rights. She's a freelance writer for the Washington Post, New York Times, a bunch of other publications. She's written a ton of stuff. Karen is runs the leading group on Fighting AB5 on Facebook. It's consisting of at this point, it's over 100,000 active members, which are freelance writers and attorneys. Like the worst combination you could have for this. I mean, great for us, but these people are putting together some serious stuff and they know what they're doing. So I'm going to have both them on and we're going to talk about the state of 2023. We will relate it to the gig economy. I've had both these ladies on independently before, as well as on a roundtable. It's been a while, but I've never had just these two on at the same time. And these two are brilliant women. And so Tuesday, the 22nd, or Wednesday, the 22nd, this Wednesday coming up, it is at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Should be about an hour, and then we'll do a Q&A. That's about, with those guys, it's about an hour 20 before we do kind of pull the plug. So do be there, please. If you have any, first of all, just to listen, but if you have any questions, they will answer everything. And they really are good at that. So if you've ever come in, if you've ever gone to a live, asked a question, you're like, I don't like that answer, it doesn't seem right. You won't get that here. You're going to get real answers about real problems.
From real people.
From real people.
And Steve, I continue to mention too that I want to simulcast that on TNC Radio. I think that this is a unique opportunity, and even for our truck driver friends who are used to listening to podcasts at that time, I want them to. I'm going to sell it here and try to get people to listen to it live. And I may come.
A lot of what they talk about is the truckers. So
right. So. Yeah, I think it's important that we get that audience in here as well. So I'll follow up with you some more on that, on getting some social media out there and making sure that people have an opportunity to hear it in different formats.
Right on. But yeah, other than that, just ridesharerodeo.com. It's where we get all the news from here. You guys, I was running a little blank on some news tonight just because I was looking, and I did something every day live this week, and they were all kind of big things too. So I've been through all this. So I would say, if anything, Rideshare Rodeo audio podcast is going strong. It's back. It's always been going, but now it's back to its own entity, plus all the YouTube stuff, plus all the other creations. But you can find it all at ridesharerodeo.com.
Ridesharerodeo.com, ridesharerodeo.com. Tremaine.
Ridesharerodeo.com.
We appreciate you being here tonight, Tremaine. Give us again, if somebody wants to track down what you're doing and the stuff you've done, what's the best place for people to learn more about you?
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor. Tom, you guys are awesome. Steve, you guys are great. You guys can go to youtube.com/Hayho Studios, HAYHOE Studios. There you can find all the videos. You can find the Indiegogo pitch video for the 3 new movies and the 1 movie that just needs help with the audio post-production. So yeah, if you guys want to get insider access to the world's greatest movie studio, we're budding. We're going to be the greatest one day, but we are getting there thanks to you guys. And so yeah, thank you guys so much. And let me know what you think of the movies, because hey, good, bad, right or wrong, love, hate, we'll take anything else.
You're saying needs help with audio post-production. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so the simp, it's all cut and everything. It just needs audio cleanup and ADR, so Foley as well. So basically, it needs to be cleaned up by a professional. Like I can do it, but someone that is very good at cleaning up the audio and everything. I can actually send you an example. I could send you the link to the movie if you want to watch it, since you are an insider.
Yeah, do that. Doing audio stuff is what my team does for a living. So I'm probably got somebody who could help out here.
Oh, that'd be amazing. That would be awesome. Yeah, that would be awesome. And if you can, I'll send you the thing, and if you guys can send me a quote on what that would be, and we could factor that into the Indiegogo. So
yeah, I think I got just the person for you.
Okay, sweet. Look at this. Awesome. Yeah. Heck yeah.
All right.
Solutions.
All right. Hey,
Marketing 101.
That's right. Hey,
That's right.
everybody, we wish you the absolute best this week. Please be safe. Remember, no ride, no delivery is worth taking risk with your safety. We've had a lot of problems with flooding across the Mississippi and Ohio valleys this week because of very strong storms. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Regardless of what happens to your rating, don't drive through high water. It's the number one killer. People think lightning kills. It's people who take risks with flooding that kills more than anything else. So don't do that. But do listen to TNCRadio.live. Happy to have you in here with us on a Friday night. Said we're going to run a repeat next week, but we'll be back 2 weeks from now. And I wish you all a very safe and happy time between now and then.
Thank you. Drive safe out there, guys.
Right
All
on,
right.
guys.
We are out of here.
And hey, guys,
Awesome.
on the before I sign us out on this end, I just wanted to add that even though Tom's gone, Gary and I are going to do Sunday Fun Day on Friday. Like, we haven't done one this year. I don't know if you guys remember him from last year.
Oh, yeah.
I know, Tremaine, you popped in on a couple.
I love the
where we would
Sundays,
just-
Mondays.
Yeah, we would just go an hour, but sometimes 4, sometimes 6. Who knows? But we will just go 2, and it will just be Gary and I. I haven't told him yet, so Gary, if you're watching, we're doing a Sunday Fun Day.
Okay.
We haven't done one in a while, and I think it'll be fun because we kind of, we just decided we can't do them anymore because we were having too much fun and they were going all day long.
Right.
And it was just
too much fun day.
It was taken away from all our family stuff. And
Oh,
we were-
gotcha.
we need to, but, and I mean, I work with so many companies that it's like we were doing that for fun, and I don't know. It'll be the first and probably the only one for a while, so don't miss it. Make it fun. It'll be in honor of Tom's 60th. So
there you go.
Yeah, happy
things
birthday,
going on.
Tom. Happy
Well,
birthday.
Thanks.
Heck yeah.
Good
That is
night,
awesome.
everybody. On this end,
All right, thanks,
we'll see
Tremaine.
you.
Thanks for being here. Talk to you all soon.
Yeah, thank you.